This is how to break up in 10 seconds or less.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
My boyfriend keeps letting his friend come on our dates. Okay. OP is 22, her boyfriend is also 22. So this is how we got into this predicament in the first place. My boyfriend really likes his friend Liam.
I think I have a crush.
He's like a brother to him, saved his life once, etc. But he's on all our dates. I even brought one of my single friends on a date so we could double, and Liam and her don't date. So that failed. I've honestly asked my boyfriend,
why is Liam on our dates?
And he says Liam is lonely, has nobody else, and he has no siblings or girlfriend.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Okay, well that's sad, but it's not really your problem. But then my boyfriend kind of guilts me because, I know this sounds awful, Liam is the frickin' package for guilt. His mom died when he was young, then his dad and him don't talk anymore, so Liam just doesn't have anyone else to talk to. Okay, but like, your boyfriend and Liam can have their own things going on, separate from your relationship.
All right, boys, night out!
It doesn't mean that he needs to be there while you guys are supposed to be having romantic outings. I honestly think my boyfriend is guilt tripping me, and I don't think I can do this relationship anymore. If nothing changes, I'm leaving. This has gone on for 3 months. You shouldn't even have to ask, realistically. Like, this is like, honestly, you shouldn't have to ask. But let's make sure we're not just asking why is Liam on our dates. We need to be like,
Babes, I would really like some alone time with you. Would you mind if it's, just us?
Please!
like, sure, I feel bad for Liam, but I don't really know him, and it's not my problem. That part. It's also not just dates. Movie nights, he's here. Going to the mall, he's here. Where is he not? I mean, like, I don't want to overtly say it, but like, is Liam and your boyfriend, like, are they like more than friends?
I'd like to see my bros get juiced.
Same.
I'm just saying, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Also, I know this sounds made up. I still can't believe it, but it is very much real. And I basically need validation that it's okay to break up with my boyfriend over this.
I am done.
Comments are saying, before ending it, you are fully validated on doing so based on your post, but have you put your foot down? Why don't you plan dates and tell him his friend is not invited, period? OOP says, I have, but as I said in the post, he always guilt trips me into letting him come. Saying this out loud kind of just made me realize he's manipulative. I just fail to understand why they can't just have bro dates. Why do you have to be part of this? It's okay to break up. You didn't sign up to be the third wheel in your own relationship. He can spend as much time with Liam as he wants as a single dude. Okay, OP responded, I called my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend to meet up, and I'm gonna break up with him. I'm gonna tell him the exact reason. Honestly, I swear, if Liam is there though, I'm not considering the possibility of not breaking up with him. It's not even just because of Liam, it's that he manipulates me into letting Liam come. Okay, on to the update. I broke up with my ex. I'm gonna call him Xavier. I went to where we agreed to meet up, and guess who he brought with him? Wait, what, Santa? Was it Santa? You guessed it, Liam. Oh, damn it. Damn it. I guessed wrong. I was very annoyed at this point. I told him I wanted to speak with him privately, and he brings frickin' Liam. It is very uncomfortable to break up with someone in front of their best friend, but I was too pissed. I told him, I
wanted to speak privately.
He said,
say it in front of Liam.
Oh my God, all the drama.
Eventually, I just get annoyed and I say, that's it. I don't want Liam always here in our private lives on dates everywhere. He basically said, remember what I told you about Liam's circumstance, blah, blah, blah. I said something like, I'm sorry, but I don't give a flying fuck what Liam is going through right now. This is about me breaking up with you. Meanwhile, Liam is just standing there looking confused. Also, like, Liam should feel a little bit weird about, like, I don't like being the third wheel in general. I used to have a friend, like, back in grade school that would, like, I thought I was hanging out with her and she'd always bring like a guy along and like make out with him. And like, I of course had no one because I didn't know this was like a date situation. And it was just like super weird. And she would always do that. And I didn't want that. Like, I wanted to hang out with my friend alone. Yeah, it just like, it got weird. Like, honestly, that's honestly why we are not friends anymore, because she kept doing that. Maybe as a way of like dangling it in front of me. I don't know.
I'm a psycho.
I don't know what that was about, but I did not like it. I fail to understand why Liam wants to be there on your dates. I don't understand why he's confused, but it's very inappropriate for Liam to constantly be joining as well, let alone your boyfriend, Xavier, including him all the time. So we basically get into a fight in this park, and it gets to the point where I tell him that he manipulates me into not kicking Liam out of our dates, and about everything he told me Liam went through. Like a brother to Xavier, saved Xavier's wife, dead mom, dad absent, no siblings, friends, or girlfriend. And then Xavier looks like he got caught or something.
You got me red-handed.
And Liam gets angry, saying like, what did you tell her? This is all really funny and really awful at the same time. It turns out none of what Xavier told me was true. I beg your finest pardon. Okay, then why does he want him there? Liam has a fiance, has a real brother and sister, and his mom isn't dead. Bro, what? So anyway, definitely broke up with Xavier. Like 40 minutes later, Liam DMs me, basically saying that Xavier told Liam that I wasn't comfortable being alone with Xavier, and he thought I wanted him to be on the dates. Okay, so like if... What is going on, sir? What?
You what?
He said the reason why he agreed is because his fiance is living in Europe to finish up her study abroad program and he had nothing better to do. So Xavier is a flat out liar, and I'm glad I broke up with him. Mad I got lied to, but oh well. This was honestly not a turn of events I was expecting, and I have to get it out somewhere.
Let it out.
Okay, so but why lie though? Like, why do you want Xavier there so badly? Like, Xavier has a fiance. We do have a little bit of a little mini update, little baby update. I think it's worth mentioning. Did he ever explain why he did it? Are you still in touch with Liam? What is Liam's take on what happened? He never explained to Liam or me why he did it, but the vibe I'm getting from what Liam has told me and my own feelings on the matter are that he was trying to frame Liam into looking like Liam was on dates with me. So X can show Liam's girlfriend's photos or something to break up Liam and his girlfriend. That's the second runner-up. I personally think that Xavier just did it for a sick game or something. As perfect as it would have been for X to be gay for Liam, sadly, I don't think that's the case.
Oh, I made myself sad.
But who knows, honestly. Me and Liam have talked every once in a while for the past few days, but I'm definitely not friends with him. I'm not really sure if I can trust him because I don't know enough about Liam to know he's not a pot stirrer himself. Liam was definitely kept in the dark about a lot of things, so it's not his fault or anything, but I just don't know the friendship I walked into. Based on what Liam said, he feels baffled. When this topic first came up, he said he wouldn't know why X would want to do something like this, but a tiny bit of him is not really surprised. I don't know what he did before that to earn not surprised, because Liam never really gave me a straight answer. What I take of it is he's very curious about Xavier's intentions. Hopefully this answers questions you might have. It doesn't, honestly. I'm still confused. I still think Liam's a little fruity. Is that bad to say? I still think Xavier might have like a thing for Liam. Like, this is a little messy. I don't know about this one. But why was this a sneaky way of going out on dates with Liam without asking him? Like, that's where I'm at. Cause like, this seems like some sort of cover for something else. Just saying. Only explanations I can think of. Xavier was for some reason afraid of being alone with OP, but was too embarrassed to admit it, so he lied to both of them. Xavier has feelings for Liam and is in denial. Xavier is extremely codependent. I don't know, man. No, like, honestly, I agree with the comments, and it's basically saying, like, Liam likes Xavier. Either or, it's a good thing you're not with him anymore. This next one is from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Because of the subject matter of this video, I kind of feel compelled to put a little trigger warning for this story because it does concern flatulence. So if you are kind of grossed out by that, maybe this one isn't for you. But I'm gonna do it because I find it funny. Am I the a-hole if I break up with my boyfriend because his farts smell so bad that it makes me go insane? Okay. I know the title of this post sounds ridiculous and wild, but this is something I'm genuinely struggling with. I, 26 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 29 male, for almost 3 years. Let's call him Jake. About 6 months ago, we decided to move in with each other. My old roommate moved in with her boyfriend, and I didn't want to live with a complete stranger to afford rent. So Jake and I decided he can move in with me because we both felt that we were ready for that step in our relationship. The first month went fine, but soon, a certain stinky problem started to arise. You see, Jake is lactose intolerant. Anytime he consumes anything that contains dairy, he becomes extremely gassy. Unfortunately for me, almost all his favorite foods contain large amounts of dairy, and he makes absolutely zero effort to avoid dairy products. On the contrary, he probably eats cheese every single day of his life because he loves it so much. Meanwhile, I'm very sensitive to smell. I can't believe this is real. What the fuck? I can't stand it. Even if I smell just a little bit of sweat, and always wear perfume. I take out the garbage bag of my trash can even when it's halfway full because I cannot stand the smell of old trash every time I open the lid. I have fragrance sticks in almost every single room of my apartment, and I shower twice almost every single day. I have always been this way, and Jake knows this. How bad is it? Like, it's a normal thing to pass gas around your significant other. Some couples are like really weird about it. It's a normal thing for Mike and I, like whatever. I notice it more when like we're not eating well. Like if we're like getting lots of like Uber Eats, like it directly coincides with how well you're eating. And also if you're eating like dairy or if you get the gluten toots, which are also pretty bad, just saying. I would say that like, you know, there's certain moments, like if we're cuddling on the couch where it's like, dude, can you like just go to the toilet? Like it's clear you need to take a dookie. Like just please don't do it around me, you know? Go in the basement. Go to your man cave and stink it up as much as you want. If you insist upon eating dairy and gluten, just spare me, please. In the beginning of our relationship, his gassiness was never that big of an issue because we didn't live together. And also, we couldn't spend the night together that often. Even if he did fart back then, it wasn't a big issue because I usually had to go home anyway when his gas problem started, which was usually in the evenings. This is so funny. However, it's become a big problem for me now. A few months ago, Jake got a new job that allows him to work from home. Oh no. He will work in our living room at the dining table pretty much the entire day. And throughout that day and every night, he will quite literally be stinking up the entire place with his farts. Okay, no. He either needs to find lactose-free cheese. And by the way, there is like very decent alternatives. Like I found this like lactose-free cream cheese that is like so unbelievably delicious. There's plenty of options. Like, just to give you a break, dude, you know? Somebody's gassy, it is what it is, but it's like all the time. I'm sorry, but no. For breakfast, he usually eats yogurt along with a coffee and regular milk. Okay, no. For lunch, he will usually eat a grilled cheese sandwich, and for dinner, if I'm not cooking, he will make pasta with a heavy cream-based sauce. And for dessert, he usually has ice cream, or worse, a milkshake. In other words, a recipe for a very stinky disaster. Okay, no, he's just really being inconsiderate at this point. You know what? Something funny that we do is that when Mike is like a little bit like inconsiderate with his farts, like at awkward points in the night, like especially if we're cuddling and then he lets one rip, he absolutely cannot stand the fact that I like burp. He gets so grossed out. So if he farts, I'll burp in his face. And honestly, just that little payback and punishment, it's effective. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
1/2 teaspoon for fast, effective relief.
His farts quite literally smell like rotten eggs mixed with decaying corpses. Oh no. Okay, no. This is like such a turnoff, right? Like, because it's like, how am I supposed to be attracted to you if you just smell like dookie all the time? It is by far the worst and grossest smell I've ever had the misfortune to grace my nostrils with. It is vile and makes me gag almost every single time. Oh, honey, no.
Stings the nostrils.
Because it's so inconsiderate at that point. Like, you can help it. Like, you definitely can help it. You can go to the bathroom and do it there, or you can just withhold, like, put it back inside. Because he's basically just pooing all over the place and like not even considering the fact that it's disgusting. Maybe he likes the smell.
Oh, gross!
I come home from school or work and I can smell his farts through almost all my scented sticks. Every time I enter my apartment now, I want to gag and leave right away. Almost every night, Jake farts in bed, making my duvets smell like that disgusting rotten egg smell. One time it was so bad I threw up. He even farts in his sleep and the scent of it has woken me up several times. Oh no, girl. At this point, like, you either need to have a very frank discussion with your boyfriend. It's not just like, oh, it's like, it's human nature, or like whatever, everybody's stanky. But like, I feel like he's also being very inconsiderate and like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be in a business meeting and let it rip like that? Like, no. Okay. We can help it. He just doesn't seem to wanna help it around you. And I get that that's his home, but like, come on now. He's not supposed to be eating dairy products. So many times I had to sleep on the couch because the smell literally makes me unable to fall asleep. You're being too much of a people pleaser, babe. Like, come on now. I've had countless restless nights because of it, and no, I cannot just seem to get used to it at all. I have lost sleep because of it, and I noticed that it's been affecting my school and work performance. I have tried to talk to Jake about this several times. I have quite literally begged him to either cut down on the dairy or take the lactate pills to reduce it, but he refuses. He says he doesn't like taking medicine, and he doesn't want to deprive himself of food that he genuinely loves because he's a picky eater and those foods are a comfort to him. Oh, such a minor inconvenience.
Oh, poor baby.
You are being massively inconvenienced. He's also being very selfish. I can't make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for him every day because I'm busy myself, so those are quite literally the only foods he will make for himself. This has gotten to a point where I don't like being in my own home anymore because of the vile smells, and it makes me go insane. I'm considering either breaking up with him or forcing him to move out if this doesn't change. I think that this is about a much deeper issue here. It is about not wanting to minorly inconvenience himself, but he's willing to massively inconvenience you. It's not a small thing. It's about being considerate of your partner. And it just kind of seems like he just doesn't care that it's affecting you this much. Okay, so OP added, Jake tried to take the lactate pills. It had bad side effects. He's had bad side effects from most medication. Maybe he needs to go to the doctor, man. Like, what? This is a problem.
That's not good.
Or, like he's lactose intolerant. He shouldn't, be eating that. So he won't take pills that help. He doesn't care that it's affecting your life quality. Throw the whole man out. This is toxic warfare and gaseous abuse. And I'm not kidding. This is gonna make you resentful. It can't be doing anything good for your ability to have spicy time with him. I can't imagine wanting to this part, man. No, seriously, that is the thing, right? Like, how can you possibly be attracted to someone that smells like that?
That's nasty.
That is like major, right? Like, if you're trying to like get in the mood and like he can't seem to control himself or doesn't want to control himself, how would you ever want to like be intimate with this person? Please get him out of your place and hire a professional to fumigate and deep clean so you can have a sense of peace again. Those are particles. They're poop particles, dude. Okay, OP responded, we have not been intimate for a while now because of this. He's expressed to me that he does feel upset. It's been affecting me so much. And he's tried to see if he can find substitute products for the dairy he consumes, like vegan yogurt or cheese, for example. But they've never been hits and he always reverts back to the regular dairy products. Okay, no, he's just not trying. Like, I know of like plenty of like vegan cheese and vegan products that are like really, really decent. Like, you have to find them, obviously. You have to go to like specific stores and they could be a little bit pricey, but like this is gonna affect not just your relationship, but like every other relationship too. You're confused. It's not because of his farts. It would be because he utterly disregards your concerns and has made living together a terrible experience. Because if you want to stay with him after he's indicated he won't do anything to change the situation, then you'd get the future you deserve. Date a man that respects you. Yeah, I agree. You're not the a-hole here. And OP updated the post and said, reading everyone's comments and advice really has made me realize that the issue is bigger than Jake's farts. It's the fact that he doesn't seem to take my discomfort into consideration at all and is putting way too little effort and makes zero compromise to actually try to change the situation for me. The double standard is crazy because it's like he expects you to adjust your lifestyle to accommodate him, and it's making your life hell, but he refuses to change the few things that would make it a little easier for you. So thank you for the wake-up call. I've decided to talk to Jake one more time and give him an ultimatum. He either changes his diet and put in serious effort to become less gassy, preferably that he would go see a doctor. Like, seriously, this sounds like an issue. Or I will break up with him and make him move out. The rental apartment is fully in my name, so making him move out would not be an issue should it come to that. So, we do have an update. A lot has happened in these past few months, and it took me a while to let everything sink in, gather my thoughts, and finally feel ready to write this update. So strap in, because like I said, a lot has happened. First and foremost, Jake and I broke up.
Thank God.
After reading everyone's comments, I really started to think long and hard about our relationship and how Jake has been treating me throughout the course of it. And the more I thought about it, the more I finally began to realize all the red flags I'd been ignoring that all pointed toward Jake not caring about my feelings at all and only taking his own comfort and his own wishes into consideration. See, this is like, it's not just about the farts. It's literally about like being considerate of other people. Kind of like living with a man that just like leaves the toilet seat up and just like, you know, like just hose it down, you know, like it's like you're just like you're living with a woman now. You're not living alone. There are things that need to be adjusted to accommodate.
So uncivilized.
Okay, so she's listing some examples. For example, during my last birthday, I wanted this one specific cake, my absolute favorite carrot cake from this local bakery that I love. That was my one and only wish for Jake as my birthday present. And when my birthday finally rolled around, Jake had gotten me a different cake. His reasoning? He didn't like carrot cake. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. So he got me a chocolate cake instead. Don't get me wrong, I love chocolate cake, but for my birthday, I wanted that one specific carrot cake. But Jake didn't get it for me because he didn't like it. See, this is part of a way bigger issue.
Man, it dang old complicated, you know, man.
This is one example, and there are many more, but I feel like that paints a clear picture of how Jake has been treating me throughout our relationship. He never takes me nor my feelings into consideration and only does what he wants. As someone who commented on my original post pointed out, that it's not someone that I should build a future with, let alone start a family with. I deserve better than that.
That's right.
So I sat Jake down and had a serious conversation with him about everything that's been going on. Sorry, I have to burp. Where's Mike so I can do it in his face? How his blatant inconsideration of me, mainly highlighted by his constant flatulence, was driving me absolutely nuts. And it was making me consider breaking up with him if he didn't change his behavior. But throughout our conversation, he kept on farting. Oh, absolutely not.
No.
It became so bad, I eventually had to move to our balcony to continue the conversation there. Oh, like not literally in the conversation of you telling him to stop. That's like literally telling someone to stop cheating, and meanwhile they're just making out with other people in the middle of the conversation. Okay, it's not on the same level, but you get what I mean. This made me so frustrated and upset I broke down. I yelled at him, and I couldn't even have a normal conversation with him about my feelings without him gassing up the entire living space so badly that I had to step out. I couldn't take it anymore. I yelled at him to get out. He at first tried to defend himself, saying it was also his house and that he should be able to fart in his own home. Well, yeah, but like not 24/7. The fuck? If it's that bad, there's something wrong. Like there's literally something very, very, very wrong.
I'm afraid you are the sickest man in the United States.
I bluntly pointed out to him that it is in fact not his house because everything is in my name. And if he wasn't going to leave, I would call the cops. Whoa. Ooh, messy. After that, he started packing his bags and left the apartment. I told him he could come back later to get the rest of his stuff, which thankfully wasn't much. And before I left, I made it clear in no uncertain terms that we were done. After he left, I broke down crying. Why? He's a stinky boy, babe. He's stinky.
Uh-oh. Stinky.
Stinky babe. Come on, you're gonna look back on this and laugh because I'm laughing. Like I'm sad that like, you know, he couldn't consider you enough to just do something to make your life easier, but this should be a very easy decision.
It's not that hard.
I know I shouldn't waste my tears on someone like that, but I still had feelings for him and I was sad that the relationship that I was once really happy with has ended. Now this is where it starts getting a little crazy. There's more? A few minutes after Jake left, I managed to calm down myself some more. And I called up one of my best friends, Sarah, fake name, who I had been confiding to about my issues with Jake. She knew about the fart situation and about all the other issues we'd been facing. As I was telling her about the fight Jake and I had and that we had broken up, I could hear that someone was ringing her door. I found that a little odd, as it was quite late in the evening. But I figured that maybe she had ordered some late night food. She told me she had to go, however, and hung up the phone in a pretty rushed manner. Oh no, absolutely not. When I tried to call her back an hour later, she told me now wasn't a good time for her to call. I decided to let it be for now and go to bed, finally being able to breathe clean air throughout the night. I tried to call Sarah again the next day because I could really use someone to talk to, but she stopped answering my calls. Instead, she wanted me to text her or send voice memos. Oh no, he's there. He's literally at her house stinking it up. Again, I thought this was odd, but I thought nothing of it and asked if we could meet for a coffee soon to talk about everything, face to face, because I really needed her right now. But every time I tried to set a date to meet up, she kept postponing. This went on for nearly 2 weeks. Jake's there. Yeah, she's with Jake. Like, if she wants him, she can have him. Like, literally, ew. In the meantime, Jake had stopped by again to come pick up the rest of his stuff. When I asked him where he was staying, he told me with a friend. He didn't specify who. However, because when I asked him who he was staying with, he told me, why does it matter to you? We're broken up now, so you don't need to know. He was being full on passive aggressive with me, and I didn't feel like getting into another argument. I wanted him gone as quickly as possible and have the apartment fully to myself again before I started looking for a new roommate. After 2 weeks, I couldn't take it anymore, and I decided to meet up with another close friend. Let's call her Lily. She knew that Jake and I had broken up, but I hadn't told her the full extent of the story because I was too exhausted to go into detail about it over and over again. So she came over to my place for drinks where we could talk. I desperately needed that.
Preach, girl.
Before I could even begin my story, however, she told me something that made my stomach drop. She asked me if I knew that Jake had moved in with Sarah. When I tell you that my jaw dropped on the floor, I am not kidding. Suddenly, everything started to make sense. Sarah suddenly hanging up the night I broke up with Jake, her refusing to call me or hang out with me to talk about my breakup with Jake, Jake telling me he was staying with a friend. Jake and Sarah had always been close. We were all part of the same friend group when Jake and I got together, and Sarah would often hang out with us when we were out and about in the city. However, as far as I knew, their relationship was always platonic. Lily told me she only found out that morning because she stopped by Sarah's to pick something up from her place that Sarah had borrowed, and Jake was there. She told me she didn't know if Jake and Sarah were dating, but Sarah's apartment only has one bedroom, and Lily told me the couch didn't look like it was being slept on, so you can do the math. I felt beyond betrayed by both of them. Sure, this doesn't mean they were having an affair when Jake and I were still together, but it's still very weird, and it still feels like a betrayal for them to likely get together immediately after we broke up. Long story short, I got pretty f***ed up with Lily that night. We had almost 2 bottles of wine each. Whoa, it goes straight to the dome. And I had probably one of the worst hangovers of my life the next day. In my hungover stupor, I decided to send Sarah a long text where I told her I knew about her and Jake. And I couldn't believe she would do something like that to me, and our friendship was over. Oh, and to tell Jake he can eat a big fat dick.
It makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Yeah, honestly, she can have him. Like, I bet you anything, she's not gonna be able to stand it. And if she can stand it, that's yucky. Lily stayed over at my place, and she texted in our group chat with all our friends that what Sarah and Jake did to me was not okay, and they were incredible jerks. Both Sarah and Jake left the group chat an hour later. Thankfully, our friend group all sided with me once I explained everything to them. We hopped on a group call. After a few more weeks of crying and getting shit-faced with my friends, I was able to get relatively over my feelings of hurt and betrayal and decided to move on with my life. I had cut Jake and Sarah out of my life, and that was that. Or so I thought. Around 2 weeks ago now, I suddenly got a text from Sarah asking me if we could meet up. I was of a mind to go tell her to go F herself, but my curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to know what on earth she still had left to say to me, so I decided to agree to meet up with her at a local cafe. If worse comes to worse, I could just leave when I had heard enough. What I was most hoping for were answers to questions I still had about their alleged affair, as well as an apology from her. So I got to the cafe and I meet up with her. She looked horrible. Let me guess. She's not getting any sleep? Because of the stink? Yeah, that's what I thought. She had visible bags under her eyes, her hair was messy, and she looked like she hadn't had a good night's sleep in weeks. As we started talking, it became clear that in fact, she hadn't. She started apologizing to me, which I appreciated. I told her I wasn't sure if I could forgive her just yet, but I did appreciate the apology. She told me Jake never cheated on me, but she did have a crush on Jake for the longest time, even before we started dating, but that it was clear to her that Jake only ever saw her as a friend. She did drunkenly confess her feelings to Jake before we started dating, but it never led to anything.
I love you.
It was never her intention to get between Jake and I, but she couldn't help crushing on him, which I did sympathize with. Honey, that's because she never smelled him before.
Stinky McStink.
The night Jake and I broke up, Jake immediately went to her. But it was unexpected. She now figured Jake knew she would take him in because of her feelings for him. They did start kind of dating, but Sarah told me she could feel it was very one-sided. But that her feelings for him blinded her for that fact. Jake had been essentially using her for a place to stay after I kicked him out, as she claims. And now she is deeply regretting everything. Not because she now finally realizes she's been used, but because she cannot stand Jake's farts anymore. Yeah, dude. You heard that right. The exact issue that Sarah had laughed at me about when I tried to talk to her about it is now an issue that's haunting her as well.
Pardon me?
She sounded so broken when she told me she couldn't stand it anymore. That Jake's farts are out of control and are causing her to not be able to sleep at night. At first she didn't notice them, but the more Jake settled into her place, the worse it got. In other words, exactly what happened to me. No, this man need to go to the doctor. He need to figure something out because or just be fine with the fact that he's never gonna live with his partner or never have a partner that wants to be around that, honestly. She told me she tried to talk to him about it, but he refused to change his eating habits, and she deeply regrets ever judging me about this and regrets letting Jake move in with her. I just laughed. I just had to laugh so hard. It was ridiculous and a full circle moment. She laughed at me about this exact issue, and now I'm laughing at her. Once I was done laughing, I told her I appreciated the apology. There was nothing I could do about this. I was not getting back together with Jake under any circumstances, and he was fully her problem now. I'd warned her through all the stories about Jake that I told her about, and she didn't take them seriously until she started living them herself. I told her although I feel sorry for her, she made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. And that's on period, honey. What the fuck? She could kick Jake out if she really couldn't stand it anymore, but I was never going to let him into my home. I pretty much left when she started to cry and tried to turn our appointment into a big pity party for her, and I had enough. I went home and blocked both her and Jake in case she would kick Jake out and he would try to contact me. And called Lily up again for another girls' night to gossip and have drinks. Oh man, those giggles must have been top tier. Got spaced again, totally worth it. OP added a few things, essentially saying that she's cut both Sarah and Jake out. She's going on a date with Lily's twin sister soon. OP is bi. Fingers crossed it goes well, bestie. And then she also wanted to add that lactate pills don't really have bad side effects. So that whole story was kind of BS. No pun intended. Honestly, this was one of the most satisfying yet disgusting posts I've ever read on this channel. Thank you for sharing, New Goose 7437. Subscribe!